Howdy, everyone. This is the voice of Barb Tomlin, known on all the social networks as Barb T USA. And I am having all kinds of tech issues this morning. So just out of curiosity, number one, I wanted to make sure I could still go live from my laptop. And I am streaming today with one of the two tools that I use to facilitate my live streams, this being StreamYard. And I just discovered moments ago that even though I had my audio settings set properly within the application, that if I didn't leave the audio active on its default on the computer, I couldn't hear if I had a guest join me. You can tell that my microphone is working because you can see, while I'm on audio only, you can see this little circle fluttering on around my profile icon. And I want to check that first just to make sure that everything hit Facebook properly. Yeah, now I just saw a notification come up that said that my Westward Connections page is live. I'm going to check the notifications on Facebook from my profile, and it says that Balloon Talk is live. That's another page of mine. And my Barbie Live page is also live. I'm going to refresh. I'm on my default because I'm actually going to take you on Facebook with me in just a minute, but I did want to be sure that I am streaming live from my profile first. And who knows what Facebook's going to do if it's telling me that I'm streaming live to my other destinations today. And an event was not automatically set up. So I am going to test everything out here before I go much further. And so if you're catching me and you want to join me live in the studio while I run the tests and what I'm up to this morning, all you have to do, if you are a friend, you can message me for a link. And if you are a follower, I invite you to join my Barbie Live Facebook group. This is absolutely crazy. With this application, I am streaming live to 8 destinations this morning. Facebook being 7 of those destinations, 6 of them being pages, and 1 my profile, and then of course to my YouTube channel. So since I'm here just by myself, I'm going to test, I'm going to check YouTube very quickly just to make sure that I've got that. I am streaming there with no problem. And I'll just click, and it does show that I'm live. I don't have to go into that live. And so that's good. And now that I've been here for 4 minutes, I will also, I'm going to share my Facebook profile feed to begin with. And let me just check that out real quick. And yes, I do have, the other thing is that I do have my ChatGPT open. I discovered this morning I had asked it to help me write a book many months ago. It wrote the book, and I never did anything with it, needless to say. So I am sharing my Facebook profile now, which I have not changed this morning. And I need to come back in and remove the background so you can see that. So I'm here in my in the studio, it's just me, and this is my Facebook profile. One of my daily habits I've tried to keep, but every once in a while I fail, is changing my Facebook cover, because for all of us, that particular image is always public. That, and your page itself is public. It's not confidential. So they're picking it up, whatever application you're using, and confined Facebook is picking that up for viewers to see. So on the cover that I'm using at the moment, that is from Pop's World Cup USA 94 first aid kit that he built. And after that, he had kept it up until he died. He kept it full of fresh supplies. And of course, I took it out. It was taken out of storage and brought back to me a couple weeks ago by my husband and brother. And it's really, really heavy, and it's something that I have to deal with. But as a reminder, I've got all this memorabilia from Pop's career that I need to take care of over the months ahead. And of course, the first thing I thought of was using Facebook groups, next door, and of course, PayPal, going to using PayPal, but you can go to eBay and all those things, and even to Etsy, I think it was, that I could share this memorabilia on to deal with that. And when you get older, especially in my generation, I am a baby boomer, but as you get older, there's more and more stuff that you've discovered that you've had for decades, and you've pushed it aside and not dealt with it. Instead, you build a storage shed on your property, or you end up renting or leasing a warehouse space. And I cannot begin to tell you how much money I have spent through my company and through personal accounts that over the years in storing stuff. And I've reached that point in life where I need to just stop and get rid of stuff and simplify my life, make it as simple as possible. And so I have, ironically, this is the year I said, that's it. I have this StreamYard account, is a premium account that is paid for through, sometime this month. I actually have, this is my last year. I'm telling myself to actually be using it to stream live. And I also have a lifetime application for the best plan on another platform I helped the developers bring together. So it's got all the tools that I need to use as well. They're done a little bit differently, of course, but I came to use those applications after we lost an application that really changed the world for most of us who connected via live audio and live video. Back in the day on the internet, we had to, when Google came along, Google at least paid attention, and we offered us applications to work with to help facilitate, what we call real-time connections. Like I'm here talking now, and you can hear me now exactly what I'm saying. And for me, my first go-round was on Skype. We had Meerkat, we had Periscope, we had so many things, but there was one profound application that really messed things up for all of us as live streamers, and that was our adventures on a product that came out of the UK, a live streaming product, came out of the UK, and it was called blab.im. And I learned through that, as you can see here, I'm live on my personal profile here now. And I even say it's just blabbing, and it's like whatever comes out, that's what we're going to talk about. So you're more than welcome, like I said, to join me in the studio. If you're even thinking about doing it down the road, I'd suggest that. Not joining the studio to watch, but joining the studio to participate. And if you are one of my friends, you can message me. If you are a follower or just discovered me, you can go to my Barbie live group. And let's just see, because everything I do, you can see as I put my name, there is a Barbie Live, that is the page, and Barbie Live behind the scenes is the group. And there's not hardly, I've never promoted it. It's mainly been hidden. God only knows if it is now. You have to check it and let me know. But I started, set that up back after we had left. My friends and I had left, going directly to, through the World Wide Web, going directly to blab.im. And that's where all of the action was happening at that time. And they shut that down, and almost, fighting tooth and nail with everybody. We were all so upset about it that I'll come back to my homepage, to my personal page now. So you can see my streams coming up. Now, the interesting part is you can see, I was looking, because you can see here I've set my permissions to global, which means that anybody on or off Facebook could actually see this, the information that's here. That's global. I'm sharing that from my profile, and I'm sharing something that a friend has produced. And this friend I met, he's a professional photographer that I met through my ballooning communities. And so those are all public. But when I was getting ready today, and normally I've been trying to be pretty normal and going live every week on Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m. with my friend Nick Nick Wood from the UK. And we've had it's been off probably which is hit and miss the last few weeks. And I decided I'm just going to move it up to when I know, because even here I said, hopefully we'll be able to continue the conversation around 7 a.m. Mountain Time today. Well, that didn't happen. He had another appointment, a conflict, and we weren't able to do that. But last week we had a tremendous amount of fun. You have to actually watch it on YouTube, and I think I mentioned that down here somewhere. Let me just check. I think I put that in right here. Yeah, you can watch that video, and who knows, maybe a little bit confusing, but anyway, not everything is public that feeds on your profile. So like when I go live, there could be something personal from someone that shows up on the profile. And everything I do, is set to global when I know. This is my friend Rose Verona, who actually, she is a real estate professional. And this was really kind of surprising what she came up with here and shared. And so I put that on my profile to share with everyone. And these were issues that I had with someone who wanted to join one of my Facebook groups, and they used a really long Gmail address. It was well over 30 characters. And I thought, isn't that interesting that, you do not have to provide the form actually said, if you want us to contact you via email, please provide your email address. So they didn't have to do that. And yet it was so long, it would have choked up the database on Facebook. The database here on this platform, as well as if you had a separate email agent to collect all this information. So just going through here right now. And so it does, as long as I'm on my cover, it's only showing my stuff, I guess. Right. Trying to refresh my memory. And so I'm going through here. And the other thing I do try to do regularly, now, for the most part, I do that daily, but I've been kind of lax this year. I've noticed it's harder for me to be able to keep focused. And that is why I said, know what, when I get up today, I'm just going to change the time of my daily connection to 9 a.m. Mountain Time and see if I can't accomplish a lot more. And it shows your most recent friends. Now see there, all of this stuff in your friends here, this is public. So that's your profile pic. So you can do, if you need to keep more privacy, you can use an image here that of course is not you, but something representing you. Like here is a balloon pilot, but he features his balloon versus himself. And, especially if you're a professional pilot, well, that's going to be public. That information is going to be public. I would go with my balloon every time. So the other thing I'm looking back here is last week, every Thursday, I go live with my friend Madeline Slar in her sessions to discuss the latest developments in AI and on social media. And so what I did here, because now this is crazy, but I took a screenshot of my last live cast with her. And because of what Facebook has done in deleting our lives after 30 days, I decided I would just create the image, and then in my comments I would put the URL to that particular live in there. And always I suggest that you at least stream live to 2 destinations, your preferred one being first, and of course YouTube second, because you will have a long-term archive of it there. Plus on YouTube, it's automatically provides a transcript, and you can take that transcript and repurpose it, spruce it up, if you will. But that is working in the public arena of what all your stuff that is available. So the other one of my other daily habits is always to check my memories. And this one from 8 years ago, I did, a couple of 3 days ago, I guess it is now. This was the notification that Barbara Bush had passed away, and First Lady Barbara Bush. I should have mentioned that. That's a bad mistake for me. But other people, see, I only have my commentary set so that friends can respond. I did have it for others, but I did have it the next level up where my followers could actually respond there. But you know what? I had some folks following me that I didn't necessarily want to follow me, but didn't know they were following me. And they were putting some things on my profile that just weren't kosher with me. So at least you can see that. And you see this popping up, this notification popping up from my friend Robert Scott Windhurst. He's from Grants, New Mexico. And you can see that notification popping up. And this is a notification that's coming in from one of my high school friends. She actually went to school with me in my alumni group. And there is a way when you're live streaming, you can actually shut that off. But this morning, it's this Beta Barbie is my other tag that folks have called me by, because I'm always testing things out. And on this particular platform on Facebook, I'm used to when I click the notifications, I have like 12 to 14 notifications in there. And you can see that I've looked at all of them but the last 3 or 4. So Facebook is definitely, in my humble opinion, broken. But the thing that they're doing, of course, is training AI to replace people. And I'm not so hot on that because, this AI is just another technology tool, in my humble opinion. And the thing is that I'm for it from the standpoint that I've seen in leaning into technology is that there are more good things that can come out of it versus bad. But there's always, as we know, bad players around. So it just depends on, out the gate, and we're talking who's working with it, that, it could be good or it could be bad. But my feeling is that we do need to embrace it. But by embracing it, that means you need to learn about it and actually use it so you know what you're doing. You will not intentionally do bad things. Other than by intent, would you do bad things with the AI? You have to be conscious in doing that, except for one area, and that is if you're working with agents and you're really getting in deeper, then things can happen. That's the beta part, and anything can go wrong there. So be careful in using AI. What I'm doing right now is I'm on audio and I'm to the left of the screen. I can, with the application that I'm using to help facilitate the live stream, I will stay on screen, but you can just see the page that I'm looking at. So that helps a great deal if you're trying to show someone how to do something. And because I'm older now, I'll tell you that sometimes I forget to switch. And the switching impact of everything is, you're also the producer and the director of your live stream. So you have to learn the different skills. And I have a particular, I work a lot with trainers. And one in particular I've worked with since way back in 2014, I think it was. We connected initially on that blab.im that I keep bringing up. And there were a lot of instructors from Udemy that were on that platform testing it out. And so I go live with him every Thursday morning and have, since 2014. And when we came to Facebook, when Facebook offered live and live in groups in particular, we went down that path together. So my Thursdays are still my heaviest days of anything happening in my world. I try to just dedicate everything to the live streaming issues on Thursdays for sure. And let me come back into Facebook now. I'm going to check this, and you can see it does show that I am live. This little ring is around there. Now I take a screenshot of that, of my, what you're seeing right now within there, where it has the instructions and so forth, but that lets me know I'm live on that day. I save that screenshot, so I have a record from it. And as I said before, I normally change my profile, and typically add a song to that, because those are your stories that it goes to, and typically add something there that's unique every day or so. But in this last 10 days, I guess it is, I've noticed a lot of issues happening that I had never seen before. And I decided, like I said, you know what? I've got to do this before I'm gone, because there are some folks that I know that have been following me for decades that know that I'm always working behind the scenes, and they would want to know what those changes are. And the other motivator for me was the fact that I saw in the headlines, just actually, I'm going to change the viewpoint here and just show you uh, one of my latest Chat GPT sessions, because this was absolutely insane. I'm working away and I see a news bunch of news headlines pop up. So I very quickly just checked those news lines, because the news lines themselves, that introduction, is not copyrightable. And, I could just publish news lines if I wanted to. But the thing is they can be so misleading. We all know that. And so one of the advantages of having ChatGPT is that I can go over and just ask it to summarize things so I can see what's going on. I do this with Grok. I've been mispronouncing that, I think, since it launched. And I'm not too impressed with the latest activity there. It's like a lot of my friends, we all met through the old Twitter, and that blab that I mentioned was actually connected to it, so that while we were talking away on through that in the video studio there, that they could actually send a link from that studio to get their friends to join them. We could send that to Facebook. I'm sorry, we could send that to Twitter, and which of course had become X. Now you have to have a certain type of account to even stream live from there, and then it's not all that findable. Things have really gotten crazy. So it's like, okay, what's the bottom line here? Why do I connect this way with the world? And keeping that going is, you've got to make things happen for you, and don't let technology overrun what you're doing. And so with this application I'm using, I can actually switch now to my work in Chat GPT. And I believe I did this a couple days ago. I saw that headline that Meta was planning to lay off around 10% of its employees starting in May. And so my feeling, of course, in community development is how it will impact Facebook groups. And now, understand, I have been feeding ChatGPT information on online community since we got started. So this is what I asked it. And here is how ChatGPT responded. Meta's planned layoff of roughly 10% of its workforce beginning in May 2026 is not a routine cost-cutting exercise. It is a structural pivot toward artificial intelligence, leaner operations, and fewer management layers. And so ChatGPT provides its source with, you can see it right there on my screen, and provides its sources with the information, its research information. And then it says for Facebook groups, this shift will be felt in uneven and sometimes subtle ways. The impact is unlikely to be immediate disruption, but over time it will reshape moderation, support, visibility, and the overall feel of group communities. I believe that's fact. I mean, there are people say, well, you can't trust the AI. That is exactly how I see it. So number one, it says reduced human oversight, increased AI moderation. So that's what's going to be resulting from this change. And it says Meta is explicitly replacing layers of human work with AI-assisted systems. I also trust this source, MarketWatch. That's how I follow stocks on. And that was the resource for that. Yes, ChatGPT knows that. What this means for Facebook groups, there's going to be more automated moderation of posts, comments, and membership costs. Membership requests. I'm sorry, that's fine. And it would be faster, less nuanced enforcement of rules, and increased false positives of inconsistent decisions in edge cases. Groups that rely on context, tone, and community culture, like niche hobby or professional groups, may see friction as AI struggles with subtlety. And that's true too. The other thing that will happen is there'll be pressure on truth and safety operations. Meta has historically relied on a mix of employees and contractors for content moderation. Cuts to contracts and moderation pipelines are already occurring, and AP News is the source of that. And so ChatGPT has concluded that the likely outcomes would be slower escalation for serious issues, such as harassment, scams, and misinformation, and greater reliance on group admins to self-police. And there will be a potential rise in spam or low-quality engagement if enforcement gaps widen. For group owners, this effectively shifts responsibility from platform to your community leadership. And that's, when it all comes out in the wash, it's what's in it for me. And to me, it has always been the relationships, the growth of the individuals, and yes, making a positive difference by your presence there. So number 3, it said the product development will favor scale over community. Meta is reorganizing around AI and efficiency, reallocating engineers into AI-focused teams. You can see this news service is another long trusted news service by the professionals at large, news media professionals at large. And so here we even have a date. It's going to be the layoffs are going to occur on May 2026. And that's where it gets the 10%. You can bet there is a Meta news release on this as well. So May 20th is an important date for all of us to remember. Some of us have long-standing relationships with Facebook personnel and other, longtime Facebook contractors. So things are going to change by May 20th. The translation for our Facebook groups, there'll be fewer new community first features, more AI-driven tools such as suggested posts, automated summaries, and AI-generated replies or prompts. This may improve engagement metrics, but could dilute authentic human interaction, especially in tightly knit groups like yours in Balloon Talk. There is more work I do in ChatGPT, particular on my Facebook groups, and Balloon Talk is the one that I ask questions about the most, because ballooning and my whole story online has to do with ballooning, because it is an international sport. It is an international communications vehicle. And if you know anything about the history about ballooning, the fellows who actually came up with it, they wanted to advertise their businesses. That was their immediate goal. And, it could be seen in the sky. It was so visible. And anytime when you say, well, what is this? You're just blabbing away. What does this mean to all of us? And I said, this is my life story. This is what it's about, because communication is what really makes good, effective communication is what makes the world go round. And the Montgolfier brothers had this figured out from the get-go. So not everything comes from the United States. I'm sorry. But it was so cool what these brothers did. And, as things would twist and turn over there in Europe, Canson is another name that is deeply tied to ballooning, and Canson is the paper that watercolor artists, that brand is one that watercolor artists gravitate towards most. And so it's just funny how it all ended up, being, that's why I have the ballooning art. It was about all of the art that we could put together that actually represented hot air and gas balloons and their impact in our daily lives. So, not to change the subject and going around and round, that's what blab is called, and it came from the UK. But the ChatGPT also determined that there will be a decline in creator and admin support. Well, that's what we all need, is a more decline, greater decline in the support. It's just, that's not right. And yes, I know we got this foundation for our communities for free. We don't pay extra for it, but it is scary. And if you want us to be there, you want to sell advertisements to us, and you want to be able to really capitalize on our presence there. And of course, we know how successful that made Facebook, which is now known as Meta. So if we bounce back here very quickly, so we've covered, it says there's an increased reliance on self-service help centers and bots. I got to tell you, most everybody hates the bots. One of the posts on my Facebook profile that is open for public view is all about having to deal with bots instead of people. And it's probably no more than 10 posts down on my feed. But it's absolutely crazy. We need to have more human to human, if you will. Number 5, ChatGPT came up with the conclusion that algorithm every once in a while, not having enough coffee does me in. Algorithmic shifts could reshape group visibility. A leaner Meta will prioritize what drives revenue and efficiency. That usually means content that retains users longer, content that can be optimized by AI. The implications for the groups is that organic reach may become more volatile. All AI curated feeds could prioritize engaging posts over meaningless ones. Smaller or slower moving groups may struggle for visibility. Number 6, the cultural impact of laying off over 1,000, over 10% of the force would be large layoffs often lead to loss of institutional knowledge, faster, riskier product changes, and internal focus on efficiency metrics. This can translate into frequent UI or policy changes affecting groups. And there's far less predictability for admins and community managers. And here, I am a bottom line kind of gal, and it always sums up with that. It's like, bottom line, Meta's layoffs will not break Facebook groups, but they will change the operating environment in 3 clear ways. Number 1, more automation with less human contact. Number 2, more responsibility on group admins. Number 3, more volatility in reach and support. For someone in your position, Barb, building communities for decades, the strategic takeaway is clear. Treat Facebook groups as a traffic and engagement engine, not a fully controlled asset. Continue your move toward own communities like school. Lean into high trust, high engagement contact that AI cannot easily replicate. In short, Facebook groups will remain powerful, but they will become a rougher, more algorithm-driven neighborhood. The strongest communities will be the ones led, not managed by humans. So to me, that was extremely powerful. And you can see the sources that are on here that it pulled from, we traditionally accept as being responsible. So there you have it. I am going to end the live stream for this morning because I covered this well, and I will see how everything ends up, because I'm actually in the studio and I'm seeing some of those things not working well, and I want to make sure that everything works right. And so for today, I'll cut this off, but you can count on me coming in at 9 o'clock now with an update, and we'll see how this goes. I don't want, I have so many friends who are saying, oh, let's do this for a week, do it for 10 days. And you know, I did for 21 days last month, and it is not easy to get those habits changed very quickly. But I've got so much that needs to be done here. I'm committed to make this happen each day at 9 a.m. So I will see you tomorrow at 9. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And what I will do is, I'm sorry here. Now, I'm supposedly I'm looking at what's happening in my studio, and I am not sure that it is working properly. So I'm just going to sign out now, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.